Section A of the European Convention on Human Rights. What can you expect to learn? Primarily, it will place the European Convention on Human Rights within a historical and political framework. It will paint the landscape against which the European Convention must be examined. Initially, we will look at why the Council of Europe was established. Why has the Council of Europe become the main vehicle in Europe for promoting European human rights, rather than being the organ of political unity that it was initially anticipated to be? We then look at the relationship of the Convention to the domestic systems of the contracting parties. And of course, just as the instrument is not static, so the number of contracting parties has grown since the original founding members. And the Convention of Europe now embraces more than 40 countries throughout Europe. So not quite the same homogeneous grouping that it once was. We also look at the way in which the court, the European Court of Human Rights, the organ which has the primary responsibility for interpreting what is contained in the Convention, has developed, how it has developed what is called dynamic interpretation towards the Convention, how it has developed the concept of margin of appreciation, where member states are still allowed, under European supervision, at least a degree of discretion. We also look at the way in which the obligations that are incumbent on the contracting parties have been developed. Are they positive obligations? And what about negative obligations? In other words, are states required to do something, or do they simply refrain from doing something? We also look at the way the Council of Europe, and in particular the Convention, sits with other international organizations, such as the EU. The whole issue of accession is still very much a contemporary issue and is one which is still not resolved. And also, what about the relationship with the UN, the United Nations? So the first section, A, deals with these issues and sets, as I say, paints the landscape, the backcloth for discussion of the rights, which will be covered in the later sections, and also the actual mechanics, the working, which is covered in the subsequent sections. But Section A very much sets a scene and provides us with the backcloth, which is so important for an appreciation of the working of the Convention and how it has evolved. And I think that should give you at least a feel for what we're going to encounter in Section A.